Air travel is one of the safest modes of transportation, thanks to advanced technology and rigorous safety protocols. Yet history has shown that when things go wrong, the consequences can be catastrophic. Today we revisit the tragic flight to Cairo that ended in disaster, a journey that started as a routine flight, but soon spiraled into chaos, leaving behind unanswered questions, grieving families, and crucial lessons for the aviation industry. The flight, a routine journey. The ill-fated flight was operated by a well-established airline known for its commitment to safety and reliability. With years of successful operations and a strong safety record, the airline had earned the trust of passengers who boarded its flights daily, expecting nothing less than a smooth and uneventful journey. The aircraft, a modern engineering marvel. The aircraft assigned to this particular flight was a state-of-the-art jet, equipped with the latest navigation and safety features. Designed to handle long-haul and short-haul flights alike, the plane had undergone rigorous maintenance checks before departure. Engineers had carefully inspected its engines, avionics, and structural integrity, ensuring it was in optimal condition for the trip to Cairo. From the moment the aircraft was cleared for departure, ground crews worked in synchronized precision, fueling, loading cargo, and ensuring all systems were operational. Inside the cockpit, the pilots completed their standard pre-flight checklist, verifying every crucial detail: fuel levels, weather reports, alternate landing sites, and emergency procedures. The flight was expected to last only a few hours, and all indications pointed to a smooth trip. The passengers, a diverse group of international travelers. At the moment when people started boarding the airplane, the cabin was filled with the typical assortment of feelings that are associated with air travel, including excitement, anticipation, and a sense of calm repose. In the manifest, there was a list of travelers who came from a variety of backgrounds, each with their unique tale. To get ready for their key meetings in Cairo, business travelers went through the documents on their laptops and evaluated them. The pyramids of Giza, the Nile River, and the historic streets of Egypt's capital were all destinations that tourists were anxious to discover, and they chatted excitedly about their plans. Families have rejoined, with some going back to their homes and others going on holidays that they have been looking forward to for a very long time. People who were traveling alone, such as students and solo travelers, passed the time before the flight by listening to music or scrolling through their phones. Among them were people who were commemorating significant life events, such as an older couple who were celebrating their anniversary, a young professional who was going on their first vacation abroad, and a toddler who was experiencing the magic of flying for the very first time. According to the majority of people, this was merely another flight, a typical portion of their journey. No one could have anticipated that this seemingly routine journey would soon take a fatal turn. The flight crew, skilled professionals at the helm. In the cockpit sat two highly trained pilots, both with extensive experience flying this particular aircraft model. The captain was a seasoned aviator with thousands of hours of flight experience across multiple airlines. Having spent years navigating various weather conditions in airports worldwide, he was well-versed in handling complex flight operations. His calm demeanor and decisive leadership made him a respected figure among his colleagues. The first officer, though slightly younger, was equally competent, with a strong track record of professionalism and skill. Having logged significant hours on both regional and international flights, he was more than capable of assisting the captain with all operational aspects of the flight. Both pilots had undergone extensive simulator training for emergency scenarios, ensuring they could handle unexpected events such as turbulence, system malfunctions, and even emergency landings. They communicated effortlessly with air traffic control, confirming flight plans and weather conditions before departure. Meanwhile, the cabin crew, a dedicated team of flight attendants, stood ready to provide a safe and comfortable experience for passengers. Trained extensively in emergency procedures, first aid, and passenger care, they performed their final cabin checks before takeoff. From assisting passengers with their seatbelts to conducting safety demonstrations, their routine tasks were second nature. Takeoff, a perfect beginning. As the final passengers settled into their seats, the aircraft doors were secured, and the captain made a routine announcement over the intercom. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. This is your captain speaking. Our flight today will take approximately hours, and we are expecting smooth conditions en route to Cairo. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight. With clearance from air traffic control, the aircraft taxied onto the runway, its engines humming steadily. The pilots performed their last-minute system checks, ensuring everything was in order. Then, with the push of the throttles, the aircraft roared to life, accelerating down the runway with powerful thrust. Within moments, the plane gracefully lifted off the ground, climbing steadily into the sky. Passengers gazed out of their windows, watching the cityscape shrink beneath them. The aircraft ascended smoothly to its cruising altitude, where the seatbelt signs were eventually turned off. Flight attendants moved through the cabin, offering refreshments and ensuring passengers were comfortable. Everything was going according to plan. Yet unknown to everyone on board, fate had other plans. What began as a routine journey was about to transform into a tragic and unforgettable disaster. Severe turbulence. If the aircraft encountered sudden, extreme turbulence, passengers and crew would have experienced violent shaking. In some cases, turbulence has caused pilots to lose control, especially if they were already dealing with another issue. Thunderstorms and lightning strikes. If the plane flew into an unexpected storm cell, strong updrafts and wind shear could have made it nearly impossible to maintain stable flight. A direct lightning strike, though rare, could have damaged vital systems. High-altitude icing. Supercooled water droplets can freeze on an aircraft's wings and engines, potentially leading to loss of lift or engine failure. If de-icing systems failed, this could have contributed to the tragedy. 3. Human error. A chain of decisions. Despite extensive training, pilots are human, and under immense pressure, mistakes can happen. Cockpit confusion. If the aircraft suffered a technical issue, how the pilots responded would have been critical. In past accidents, misreading instruments or failing to execute recovery procedures correctly has led to disaster. Disorientation. At high altitudes and in bad weather, pilots can suffer from spatial disorientation, where their senses mislead them about the aircraft's true position. A security threat, the unthinkable. While less likely than technical or weather-related causes, investigators also considered the possibility of deliberate interference, sabotage, or terrorism. Authorities examined whether an explosive device had been placed on board. While no immediate evidence suggested this, forensic teams carefully analyzed debris for signs of external tampering, hijacking, or crew disturbance. While rare, some crashes have occurred due to unlawful interference. Did an unauthorized person enter the cockpit? Was there a struggle for control of the aircraft? The investigation looked at passenger lists and security footage to rule out this scenario. The final moments. As investigators pieced together the final seconds of the flight, chilling details emerged. The aircraft had suddenly entered a steep descent, plunging rapidly toward the ground. Air traffic controllers desperately tried to contact the pilots, but there was no response. The final radar data showed erratic altitude changes, suggesting the crew was fighting for control. Then, silence. The aircraft had disappeared from radar. Moments later, it crashed, leaving no survivors. As a result of the aftermath, the mystery is being unraveled. The location of the crash became the focal point of a comprehensive investigation. In the process of searching and recovering the wreckage, search and recovery crews retrieved black boxes, debris, and any other evidence that would explain what went wrong. Not only did the tragedy have a long-lasting effect on the families of those who lost their lives, but it also had an influential effect on the aviation industry as a whole. To prevent events of a similar nature in the future, safety recommendations were issued. A routine flight to Cairo had ended in disaster, serving as a grim reminder that, despite the advancements in technology, aviation continues to be a delicate balance between human skill and the forces of nature. Whether it was a mechanical failure, a weather-related catastrophe, a pilot error, or a security threat, one fact remained clear: the flight had ended in disaster. The last moments before the end. An ominous picture emerged from the data recorded by the flight recorders as the aircraft was getting closer and closer to its final moments. It displayed unexpected deviations from its flight route, quick changes in height, and, finally, a rapid plunge into the ocean at a high speed. Because the wreckage was dispersed across a large area, recovery attempts were made more challenging. Eyewitnesses on the ground reported seeing flames in the sky before the crash, which fueled conjecture about an explosion that occurred on board or a severe technical breakdown. The recordings from the black box offered horrifying details about the final moments of the flight, including the blaring of the cockpit alarms, the pilot's struggle to regain control, and then quiet. The aftermath, investigations and findings. Rescue and recovery teams were dispatched immediately, but hopes of finding survivors faded quickly. The wreckage was eventually located deep in the Mediterranean Sea, requiring extensive underwater operations to recover debris and flight data recorders. The investigation, led by aviation experts and crash analysts, took months to piece together what had happened. It confirmed that a sudden and catastrophic event had occurred mid-flight, making recovery impossible for the crew. Impact on aviation and the families left behind. This tragic flight to Cairo left a lasting impact not just on the aviation industry, but also on the families of the victims. Many lost loved ones in an instant, with only memories left behind. Memorial services were held, and airlines reassessed safety procedures to ensure such an event would not happen again. Lessons learned on the job. The catastrophe caused aviation authorities to reevaluate some safety practices, including aircraft maintenance checks and crew training for emergency scenarios. As a result, improved safety measures have been implemented. Better communication and monitoring. Efforts were made to improve the monitoring systems for air traffic to identify early warning signals of problems and to reduce the amount of time it takes for emergency personnel to respond. Conclusion. An incident that occurred on a trip to Cairo that was supposed to be normal ended up being a calamity, which serves as a clear reminder of the unpredictability of airlines. Even though aviation is one of the safest modes of transportation, every accident results in advancements that make flying even safer. If you found this story interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. What are your thoughts on this incident?